up advice.
Good.
That was good.
Very good, very good. So there you are at the intrinsic motivation. Yes.
And not talking sometimes and wanting to give advice. I do have a problem with that. I like to work on that one.
Yes. Well, you're a people helper. You're a people helper, and we've been talking about it for quite a few weeks now. Is it's what makes it hard is that we want the best for those people, but sometimes they know what they need to do. They have it all covered. So it's important to listen, active listening, and because they feel respected when you talk to someone. Yeah, when you talk to someone and they listened to you feel listened to. How do you feel?
Right. Happy.
Yeah. Yes. Yes, definitely. Definitely.
So I have to understand that.
Yeah.
They want to be heard just like I want to be heard.
Yes. So, what else?
Um,
You sound pretty good topics.
yes, they are. They are. It's good. It's a good. It's good. I like it.
So what else? What else caught you?
How to handle disagreements.
Yes, handling disagreements is a big one, and it's always going to be a big one. We will have disagreements for the rest of our life. It's just it's how that's how it's going to be, right? But knowing how to handle disagreements, it's so important. And sometimes it's good to be reminded that people have different point of views, right? That's empathy, right? In leadership, everybody that becomes a leader and they go through leadership training, they're going to a bunch of classes, how to learn empathy, how to understand other people's point of view. And people helpers, we are required to understand other people's points of view. It's not just that we are a people helper and we have the answer for whatever problem they bring to us, we have the answer. Maybe yes, maybe no. So listening to what they have to say is important. When I go about presenting something, I go a little bit linear and I explain how things work before I explain the problem, what I want a solution, when I want a convergence of the mind on it. That's my way of doing. So in this situation, listening to this type of communication is needed. And by the time I am done talking, presenting this way, how it works and why it affects us, because this is how it works and this is how this was affected, by the time everything I said, there's very little to argue about. Right? Because I wasn't disagreeing with somebody's experience. I was just looking at it from the perspective of how it works, and if it works this way, and then this is how it's going to be affected. And then if you don't want it to be affected, and you know how it works, then you're going to know how to not affect it or affect it positively. Yeah? Yeah.
Yes, I
It's
agree.
it's a big one. It's definitely a big one. This disagreements. We all have disagreements, and there's going to be forever. We never know the full story behind it. Like, look at what's going on with the politics. We don't know. There's so many talks about who did what and what it means. We don't even know what it means. We don't need, what does it entail? We cannot know unless we are over there in person.
And if we see everything, we don't know everything. This is the whole thing. We don't know. I mean, like there are no accidents in the world, and why it happens wasn't. It happened for a reason, to show people that there are mistakes, to show the different possibilities, and maybe perhaps the people who are involved, they learned a lesson from it. There was a reason for it, and if we know that the universe is always working for us, then it's a possibility that this had to have happened, and it wasn't a major thing. It was still a major thing, but it was not a major thing. So. But
Yes, well, the reason part of it, sometimes it's hard for people to digest the reason part of it. So for some people it's easy to understand, like, this has to be a reason, and other people's like, well, it makes no sense, why would that happen? So just understanding that there is something we don't know. We don't know the story. We don't know the elements that are involved in that particular thing.
right.
I think that's easier to look at it like that as opposed to say, well, there is a reason. Sometimes it's hard to stomach whatever the reason for war. It's hard to stomach that there is a reason for war. Well, maybe there is a reason not to have war, right? But looking at it from the perspective that we don't have the elements that make that what it is, I think it makes it easier to navigate that those disagreements.
I mean, we've been in war. There's been multiple wars, and I don't know. I mean, I think the only person that really benefits are the ones who make money from it and take power and control it.
Yes, that it's got an economic, yeah.
There's so many people, so many children, so many property, so everything else. I mean, the contamination, the poison, the hurt and the harm and the damage, and I mean those poor people who lose their homes, lose their body parts, lose their family, lose everything. I mean, do they benefit? I don't think so. But it's the people who make the money. They don't care about other things. It's all about greed, and money is a big-driven thing. And
Yes, yeah, that's very sad. That is very, very sad.
it's got to pray for the compassion part of the people, because there's a lot of cold-hearted killers.
Yeah.
Cold-hearted, they don't give a shit. It's all about they got paid to do this. Some people get paid to do this.
Yeah, well, okay, let's not, now we're not going to stay with this topic.
So anyway, so
Yeah.
yeah. So but we have to. I think looking at what's happening, anything in the news, I have to. Like they say, believe half of what they say, or perhaps because now the question is it AI telling you this? Do they make up stuff to make us get angry? What is it? I don't even know anymore. Sometimes we don't know.
Yeah, but you see, that's the way we get to apply emotional intelligence in this aspect of so many news. It's simple. We do not have all the elements that make that up. If we are directly affected, other than beliefs and ideology, if we are directly affected, like a law it's been implemented or taken away that directly affects you, look at what you need to do. It's like, what do I need to do if whatever happens in politics affects me directly, then get educated on what I need to do, if I need to make changes, and continue to grow my self-regulation part of the emotional intelligence. That's that. According to emotional intelligence, that's that. If you want lower emotional intelligence, go ahead and bicker. If you want good balanced emotional intelligence, that's how you handle. If you can contribute to the positive, contribute. Which other one was difficult? The disagreements we talked about, the active listening, expressing emotions in a respectful manner.
Yeah, remember to say I, not you. You did that.
Yeah.
What's wrong with you?
Yeah. Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
And it really, I mean, it's really true that a lot of us don't take. I mean, I hear this all the time. It's just like they never admit that they made it. It's never their fault. They're not. It's always somebody else. It's just like when I hear that, I just kind of like, okay, not taking responsibility for your participation.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because there's a lot of discernment, you know.
Yeah.
I mean, just because we hear something, we have to still discern to see whether like what's her name, and she always asks question, is that true? But we start like, I mean, I say something that I hear, and then I hear from the other side, they said, where did you have to hear that? Prove it to me. And then sometimes I hear something on the other side, and I'm like, where did you hear that? That's not true. We're getting fed. I mean, there's some things that even in the health business, they're lying to us. They say salt is not good for you. I mean, and the truth is, salt is, the right salt is really good for you. So there's just so many, learning to discern the difference between, to learn to ask ourselves, is that really true? I maybe not even, because I remember my husband says, when somebody lies to you, you don't go up to them and say, you son of a bitch, you lied to me. Just say, oh, that person just lied to me. If you recognize a lie from the truth, and not confront them and just say, oh, that's a lie. So then you start recognizing, the truth between the truth and the lies, and
Yeah.
and not accept everything bold faced. Because I used to be very gullible. I used to believe everything.
Yeah, see, this is where the trust goes in. Being overly trusting everything, being gullible. It's not. We need to add a lot of cautious and prudence and a little critical thinking.
Critical thinking.
Yeah, a little bit of critical thinking, and kind people are just gullible, kind people. But kindness, if we add a good amount of critical thinking, it doesn't mean that we're not kind people. So critical thinking required, yes, because if you're gullible, then other people take advantage of you, and then yeah.
No. I was a sucker for a